Would be like that is manipulation.
What value?
No, just manipulation of one's
Sure. So what is that value that you're now saying this value is now somehow being in question? This value is undermined. So we have to identify what value you're talking about. So you talked about someone is saying this is a particular dress code to their family members, right? Girls within the family. This goes against which value? It undermines which value in traditional Britain?
Of an individual person being able to dress how they wish to.
We're not allowed that even in Britain. Can you dress here in your birthday suit and walk as you wish?
Yeah.
No, you can't. It's a public disorder. You will be taken. It's a public disorder.
What, to dress naked?
Yeah.
Okay,
of course.
Naked.
That's your choice, right? If someone wants to dress in their birthday suit, right? It's a suit. And then want to walk naked everywhere and go to work.
No, but I don't know.
And go to work. Are you saying we should not take the liberty and freedom of that individual and let them dress the way they want to? So let's understand which of the British traditional values this is undermining. Someone wants to dress in their birthday suit and they want to go to work. Is this acceptable to you and to Britain and to British values? And if it's not, which value is it undermining?
No. It's like, look, if you were naked, it would be seen as provocative.
I don't understand that. If someone decides to dress the way they want, okay, they want to dress in their birthday suit. That's their choice, right? Individual liberty. They want to go to work, go to Parliament, an MP, for example. Should they be allowed to do that?
Yeah, if that's what the point they want to make.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And everyone will be happy with it?
Not everyone, because that's the point.
The people who will not be happy with it, why would they not be happy? Let's say, would there be British people who won't be happy?
There'll be a mixture.
Okay, let's talk about the British people who won't be happy. What values they think this undermines?
Nothing. No, that's what I mean. There'll always be a mixture of people who think that's appropriate or not.
That's the thing. I'm getting confused.
Should be allowed.
If you're allowed, then people should be allowed to walk naked everywhere, right? Yeah. But that doesn't happen. Police intervenes. Says this is a public disorder.
If you're being provocative, you can get
No,
away with
not provocative. Not provocative. Just walking naked without provoking anyone.
Look, I don't know for sure, but there are. You can get away with that if you're not being provocative.
No. So if you go to work, it's acceptable.
No, because in a workplace.
Okay, why not?
Because there's safety concerns.
What safety?
You might chop it off.
I don't get it.
Like, say I was naked and I'm up a ladder, right? There's danger.
So if you work in a desk like a secretary, it's okay.
It could be. There's always.
So it could be or not. We want to know, in terms of individual liberty in our dress sense, if someone objects to how a Muslim family is telling their dependents, their children who are not grown up, how to dress, for example, and you say this is an objectionable to our British values, I want to know what British values is undermining, and I want also a counterpart. For example, okay, fine, let's go to the other extreme. Instead of covering up, exposing yourself and going to your workplaces, your school, your universities, wherever you are, in public, in shopping. Why is this not acceptable and not allowed? Why is it considered to be a public disorder? What values of traditional Britain is this undermining? That's what I'm asking. I want to know because...
Well, if you walk around naked?
Yeah. What is the traditional British value that this dressed in full covering or no covering at all? Which traditional British value is this undermining? Which one? This is not a place for begging. It's England, right?
It is a cross line, right? But what I'm pointing out is, if you...
Speaker's corner, sorry. Did you see that? The ideal is here. The far right and everything. Now you have the beggars. They want a camera exposure to the whole world. Sorry, I mean, I couldn't help laughing inside. Look at this. What's going on in this place?
He's not answering the question now.
Carry on, Gary.
Basically, there's both sides. Like, if you wanted to walk around naked, but you weren't doing it for a reason, right?
Your choice.
You just decided I wanted to stand
Choice.
naked.
Individual liberty.
You can get away with that in England.
So you can go to work, yeah, and your boss won't say anything.
Yeah, because at work you'd be making a point. At work,
What point?
The point of being, I
So
can get away with
why
being
is there
naked.
okay? So if your bosses, not you personally, the managers, line managers, or your bosses object to you coming to work in a particular dress, which is no dress at all, why is that?
Look, this is, like hate speech, right? It's very kind of fluid in terms of what people just say is hate speech, right? It's the same with dressing naked. There's times where you'll get away with it and it's not a problem because you're not making a point. There's other times you're like, look, you're at work and you're going to be interacting with people and it's going to cause a problem.
What problem?
Right? Well, no, because you're taking it to the extreme. I'm saying that
Let's understand that. So you're saying walking naked to work, going naked to work is extreme.
What's your job?
It's extreme, right?
Are you like cutting down trees or something? Why would you want to be naked?
A secretary.
A secretary?
Yeah. A school teacher. That's it. Just going there and teaching school children. Naked, of course. Why would that be objectionable?
At different times it would be.
What is really the objection?
There could be.
No, it's not what could be. What is it?
No, there's to say like STIs, and you're carrying them. And
you don't carry STI like bugs hanging around you.
You do.
Come on.
That's what I mean. So there'd be health concerns.
Okay, so they're going in their underpants, right? So no STIs, hanging around their necks and their shoulders or whatever. Do you see? You can see the double standards clearly at play. If we're going to talk about individual dress sense, we have to link that with a standard. But clearly, there seems to be a standard in place already, whether it's written or not. That's
common sense.
Common sense tells you that you should dress modestly. This is what Islam advocates. That's all. Would you accept that this is a good value in Islam?
Yes.
There you go.
But the extreme being to cover your whole face as an absolute. So, for example, a Muslim girl has been asked to cover modestly. I can't see her. We might be like connected. I might get on with her. She might be like a soulmate, but she's covered up. And because of your religion, I'm not allowed to interact with her.
Maybe she doesn't want to interact with you.
But I can tell she wants to.
If a woman wants to interact with you, she can interact with you through her mobile phone. You don't see her there. Do you really think, look at this argument that's been presented. Muslim women wearing a veil or a hijab, we can see them. We can't interact with them, we can't connect with them. But you do that all the time with people who don't even see. You just do that through email. You communicate with them. You do it with the phone just by hearing the voice. No problem in communication. I mean, I find that there's a little bit double standards there. The argument doesn't work. It's not communication, it's something else. It's something else. That you want to see the Muslim woman. Muslim woman prevents you from you seeing herself. Perhaps she doesn't want to. If that has a choice, should we not respect that?
Yeah. But literally, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying, in terms of what the difference is between Western values as I've grown up.
When you say Western, there's a lot of West is very divided. Let's talk about British values.
Values.
What are the British values? No, what are? Because we haven't even identified one yet. What British values do you think, personally, that is being undermined by Islam coming over, taking over? Of course, Islam not coming over, taking over. Islam is there all around anyway. I'm a Muslim. Islam is here. I'm here. Islam is here. So you are interacting with Muslims and interacting with Islamic values already anyway. So what do you consider that the British people are afraid of when Muslims are all around with their values? What are the values of Islam that you think is incompatible with the British values, or the British values that are being undermined by the Islamic values? Let's discuss some of those things and see whether we can find a common ground.
Mainly the segregation between men and women. The fact that there is a clear divide between
we do that all the time.
Women.
Even in Britain.
We've had it.
No, even in Britain.
Yeah.
the British public are already segregated. Your bathrooms are segregated, toilets are segregated. In fact, do you have a mixture of a football team where it's a man and woman playing together? It's a mundane example.
We should.
Now, you're saying we should to counter my argument. But the fact that for all these years, you have already segregation. Segregation is already present, right? It's not something new Islam is introducing. Islam is saying, look, we have to respect each other in our spheres. When you have a segregation, it creates some interactions, reactions, emotions. Islam says prevention is better than cure. Rather than having the problem happening and then you want to treat it, it's better for problem to even start if you can prevent it. When you are, for example, look, are you really saying we cannot work together in a way where, you know, there are controlled segregation when it's necessary? I mean, have you ever considered, this is a very mundane, crude, very silly example, shared toilets. Why is it segregated?
Can I make a point, brother? If you look at the statistics, in rush hour in the morning, look at the complaints, how many women get molested. Look at the statistics.
Right. So, hospitals, for example.
Sorry,
why? It's all right, doesn't matter. We are talking. Sorry, people who are watching out from elsewhere. Hospitals. Why do women patients want segregation from a mixture of patients? They want their own women-only bay. Why? Is it something in the nature where sometimes you need some kind of privacy?
Yeah.
Privacy? Yeah. So if women considers having that kind of privacy is actually beneficial for them, we should respect that.
Yeah.
So Islamic. Sorry, continue.
Well, no, basically there's similarities, right? And I'm all for, like, I've not had problems with Muslims myself, right? I've seen a lot of the benefits, and I've felt like, oh yeah, now this can work. But what is the overwhelming problem is the segregation between men and women, and the fact that women should be covered. Because from my background, and I'm on a beach, that women can dress how they want, and we do see naked women on the beach.
Do you enjoy seeing them?
For the first 10 minutes, it's very exciting. But
yeah, so you enjoy them. So basically,
my mum
brother,
gets her backs out all the time.
Sorry, don't have to go.
People looking at your mum.
Excuse me, please.
They don't.
Without going into graphical details, what we're saying is, when man or woman are exposed, it attracts the opposite sex's attention, or even the same sex attention today, right?
Temporarily, and then we know
Sure, it does, isn't it? So, if man or woman, they don't want to entertain others by their exposing their bodies, we should respect that.
Look, my point being, like, we have to control ourselves, right? Covering of women.
Covering of men is one way of controlling yourself and controlling others. Like, you are covered, you're dressed modestly. Why have you chosen to dress modestly?
It's cold.
It's not because of cold. So are you saying if it was warm weather, you'd come in your underpants?
I'll be in Speedos and a vest.
One of the things Islam looks into is a human psychology, human psyche. And it knows human psyche, how it works. It knows how the interaction happens between opposite sexes, or whether there is a same-sex interaction or not. It legislates to look after the welfare of the societies.
Yeah.
Because if people don't cover themselves and they're allowed to dress as they wish, it will have some problems of instability because of the human psyche, human nature, the way humans are. Humans, essentially, if you believe in biology and evolution, are social animals. Yeah? There is an animal behavior, instinctive behavior. So if you don't cover yourself, of course, you would think about this kind of thoughts in you. You look at the other sex and say, oh, okay, you think about this. So Islam says no.
In public,
in public, in public, you have to dress yourself modestly. What you do in your own home, in your own bedroom, how you dress, that's your business. But in public, when you want to interact with others, you don't want to destabilize the structure. We only need to go and look at history of the Greeks, the Romans, the civilization of the Indians and others, just to understand what happened and what went wrong. If we did not learn from history, then where are we going to learn? Yep.
So, in terms of where I've come into the world and what I've witnessed through Britain before
Brother, please. Thank you.
The introduction of more Islam, I would say that we have learned to control ourselves, but there's obviously flaws. We've got criminals, there is problems, and so that's why when I see Islam coming down, I'm like, oh, at least Islam talks about it, and there's a reason for men behaving the way they do, right? Our kind of tradition doesn't acknowledge it. They'd be like, oh, these guys are good, and oh, look at that bad one, go away. Whereas Islam recognises there's a logic, there's a reason for it, yeah? Which is why I'm open to Islam.
Good, very good. I want to give you, to consolidate your understanding, one example. Say there is two women in an office doing their job. One dressed hardly any clothes at all. Okay, she's a young woman, and another one dressed modestly. People are interacting. Who is going to say, I'm going to take her about her thoughts and processes, her brains, her intelligence, when they look at the woman who is hardly dressed? Maybe she may be in her, hardly any clothes, right? Very sexually provocative dress. Do you really think man or woman, when they interact with this particular person at work, they would think about, that's a good point you made, yes, this is a good solution, good management strategy, and so on. Do you not think they will be distracted about her physique, about her body? Right, so now we establish one thing. During even workplace, how you dress, it can have an effect on your productivity. If you want good productivity, you have to dress in a particular way where you're not distracting others.
Yeah, all right. Now, so I hear you, yeah? But what I'm saying is, right, as a man, when there's a beautiful woman around, the way I conduct myself puts me on the level of where you're at with that woman. So we have to learn to behave in ways, and sometimes we get it wrong. Like, we've all done it where you've made a pass and it's gone wrong. We get it wrong, yeah? I'm just saying it's all about how we conduct ourselves. And when I see the fact that if all women were covered head to toe in black garments, for me, that's a very sad world.
I think you're going into the extreme position where covering yourself head to toe is just an opinion in Islam. It's not something that everyone takes, right? Covering your head is considered to be something obligatory for a Muslim woman. Now, you might think, I want just to bring this into perspective. You might think, what's so special about the hair, right? Okay. What's so special about the hair? No. Is the hair of a woman part of her beauty?
Yeah.
Good. Do they spend a lot more money than you do in your hair?
Of course, yeah.
Right. So that could be a distraction, right? So Islam says in public, these elements of distraction should be minimized. I'm just using the language that you would understand. Minimized to have a productive society. Minimized. For example, imagine two English women is trying to know you, right? And you're trying to know her. One comes up with a Muslim woman's dress, face only open, head covered, and other comes in their bikinis. To know them. So who is saying what to you? The woman who's covered up is saying to you, I want you to take me as who I am, not the way I look. The other woman perhaps is saying both, but you as a man, you're getting two different messages.
So this
the messages, the one with modestly covered is saying, look, if you want to know me, Know me as who I am.
See, this is why I say, look, there's space.
Not what I look.
There's space for Islam
Excuse me.
in England and in Britain, yeah? Because women being treated as who they are, as in intellectually and what they're doing, and they want to be covered, great, yeah? There's space for it. But my point being is, when a woman, like in my local area, King's Cross, right? She's married, she's 35, she's got 2 children, she's walking down the street with her friends, and Muslim men said, slags, hoes, look at the way you're dressed, right? I've not got time for that. She's a married woman, she's not a slag, she's not a hoe, and you have no right to call her that. Right?
No one has a right to say anything like that.
That is what gets me, and if I'm like the weaker side of the argument, there is 1,000 people behind me who are going to be angry with Islam because of what them men said, yeah?
So one thing we need to understand is there are a lot of people, even in the park here, they say things which is not something they should be saying in the first place.
Yeah.
Whether words of provocation, words of insult, you know, is it in Islam? Do you know that we don't have the right to insult anyone? In the secular liberal society?
Man, I spoke to so many Muslims and I haven't argued. Yeah, I agree with so much of what you say on the positive.
So look at what Islam tries to instill on a human being. Yes, you have the freedom of speech.